Okay, so I'm going to keep you guys up to date on the Ukraine situation and just how much money that nation has received, not just from the United States, but from all countries in the world since 2022, January. That's when the Russian offensive really began. Now, Russia has been attacking Ukraine since 2014, and Russia had actually occupied about 27% of Ukraine after the 2014 offensive. And actually, now there's less of Ukraine occupied by Russia since they have gone in January of 2022 and attacked Ukraine. They only operate about 14% of Ukraine now. That's down from the 27%. And the reason for that is because Russia is against basically the rest of the world, it seems like, when it comes to all these countries supporting Ukraine. And I've talked about it before. You asked the question, why are all these countries jumping to Ukraine's aid? Well, really, when you get down to the crux of it, part of it is because of the biolabs. And nobody really knows that Ukraine has these, but they do. And I think by last count, 2 years ago when I was living in Florida, I talked about 7 different biolabs in Ukraine. And really, Ukraine and the United States is the bad guys in this. Russia is the good guys because really they were attacking because of that. But that's just one reason out of many. Don't get me wrong. It's not exclusively for these biological laboratories. It's not. That's just one reason. But Ukraine was contributing to these viruses like China and really the United States out of Fort Detrick, Maryland. And that was exposed by Judy Mikovits 2 years ago when she came out about the whole coronavirus and the Wuhan scandal. But let's get down to the numbers, shall we? So out of all the aid that has been given to Ukraine since just 2022, and we're talking January, so that's the beginning of the year, we are talking now, well, we're 2 3/4 years now. We're pushing almost 3 years on this. Ukraine has received $380 billion with a B from all the countries. The United States has given about approximately to date about $74 billion. That is staggering. We've got all these problems at home. We have given Ukraine, if you want to be conservative, you could say between $58 and $74 billion. That's a lot of money to be giving another nation on the other side of the world when we've got all these problems at home. And it's only getting worse. Canada has given roughly, I think last I checked, I thought I saw about $18 billion. It's a farce what is going on in not just our country, but the world right now. And all these governments are in bed with each other. But it's just sad. We just now announced, Biden has just announced that the United States is going to give another $375 million right now with everything else that's going on to Zelensky over there in Ukraine. And it's just stupid. It's just dumb. I mean, we can't sit here and protect everybody. We just can't, especially now. We shouldn't have been playing Big Brother like this years and years ago, but here we are. So now you've got an FBI whistleblower coming out, one of the actual few good guys left in the Federal Bureau of Instigation, as I like to say, is now coming out and saying, urging the American citizens to get out and vote on November 5th, arm themselves, and prepare for about 3 to 4 months of food and water or sustenance. It's coming from an FBI whistleblower. He is saying, or she, I don't know who it is saying that the FBI cannot no longer be counted on to lead this country. So we know they're imploding. I've talked about it, how they've colluded with the deep state, and they are the deep state. They are part of the deep state in all of these Trump assassination attempts so far. And it's not just that, it's the false flag shooters and everything else. It's bam, 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 one after the other. It's not stopping, and it's not going to stop until this election happens. And let's pray President Trump gets in. Let's pray he gets it back in and that they don't steal it, but we know they're going to do it. We know they're going to at least try it. So, and if that doesn't work, well, Plan B has been already set in motion. You've seen 3 attempts on his life now. Most people think it's 2. It's really 3 because there was Ronald Siverid in Arizona making the threats online, and he was just caught before he actually got to the next phase of it. So be on your toes, guys. Like the FBI whistleblower said, start stocking up on food right now. If we're getting into the fall season, it is fall, it is autumn, so the gardens are starting to taper down. We've still got tomatoes out there I can harvest. I've got a little broccoli out there. It's not too late. Well, it's getting too late depending on where you live. If you're up in northern climate above like the 36th degree of latitude, you may not even be able to get lettuce out. You might. You guys that have indoor facilities like a greenhouse, utilize them, because you're going if somebody from the FBI is actually going against the rest of them and saying, hey, wait a minute, you guys need to start saving your food and stocking up on water and drinks, you better listen, because everybody already knows we're approaching tough times. We're seeing it live right now. So that's all I've got, guys. Godspeed, and we're here to help as we can. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Subscribe if you like the content. We're going to try to keep you up to date on everything that's going on, but we know it's going to be a lot to cover here in the next couple months. Stay tuned.